Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. Good morning and happy Valentine's Day. Just a day full of love. I'm also reminding you, in case you forgot, you have a significant other. I might have just saved your life, so you're welcome for that. But happy Valentine's Day, happy Monday. We're going to go ahead and get started with the guest trader. Hey, Dan, how's it going? All right, cool. I guess you can hear me. So we're gonna get started here. Today's guest is Steve Ramona. Steve, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me, Nick?
I can. It's good to have you, Steve. Good
Thank you,
morning.
Nick. I'm super excited.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you. Did your team win yesterday? Are you were you happy with the results of the Super Bowl?
I was not happy. I'm a 49er fan, so we did not want the Rams to win.
So it did not work. Did you do anything fun? I'm sorry. I am sorry. It was a pretty good game, though. It was pretty good, I think.
It was a great game. No, it was awesome.
Did you do anything fun for it?
Yeah, we barbecued. We pulled our trader out, did some smoking and ribs and tri-tip, and that was the best part of the day. Thank you, Linda. Go Niners.
It is actually. That's and were there any commercials that you actually liked? Was there anything good?
You know, we noticed that, and probably a lot of people noticed, a lot of main actors doing these commercials more than most. I thought most of them were pretty good.
Yeah, did you see that LeBron James one? That was crazy.
Yes.
That CGI on LeBron James.
I like the Seth Rogen, Paul Rudd one with the Doritos. I love those guys, so they were hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I'll have to Google it.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, I'm good. I am sorry for that, but hopefully Sean will be able to lift your spirits here today. And
Hey, just being here, I'm all good.
yeah, we'll have a good trading session. So, Steve, tell us about yourself. Let everyone in the, you say tap room, let everyone in Guest Trader get to know you.
All right. Well, I'm 60 years old. Going to get married here, hopefully in the summer with COVID. So I'm excited about that. Entrepreneur, own my own businesses. Love to work out. Used to play a lot of softball, and now with trading, I'm looking at golf as my next venture. Love to cook. Love helping people. Love mentoring people. I love helping people trading as well. I've got a couple of my people I work with, Soraya and Lynn, that I work with trading every morning, at least Lynn. I'm excited about that as well.
I was super interested to hear about your company. So you sell medical cost sharing health coverage, and that's something you started?
No, I didn't start. It's one of the things I do. It's
okay.
It's a health plan that is community based. So you have to deal with all the insurance issues. I saved about 10,000 last year in my medical costs.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's incredible. But so that's not InPhone, right?
No, InPhone is a product we put everybody's business on their cell phone, so they can see a little icon on their phone, and it's their headshot or their logo, and they click on it, and it has everything about their business in buttons. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. How'd you get started with that?
Actually, Lynn, one of the traders I trade with, introduced me back in October of 2020. One of the partners, and got excited about it and became an owner. And I'm excited so that I can trade in the morning and do my business during the day.
Was it pretty hard transition, going from starting your own company, and obviously if you've been doing it 15 years, making it successful, was that pretty difficult, or was it pretty seamless?
There's always going to be bumps in the road. It's no different than life. Waking up every morning, you don't know what you're going to come into. You come in with a positive attitude, but there's always challenges. But with challenges, they're learning experiences, Nick, and I've learned so much. And I do take what I've learned and I share it with others. So anybody can do it, but just like trading, it's a mindset. It's trading is like starting your own business, and that's why I love it. I love the excitement.
Yeah, so you haven't missed a trading session since 2019. You've traded literally every day but holidays.
And hello, Soraya. There's one of my people I brought to apiary. Yeah, I will never forget the date, Nick. December 4th, 2019, I met with Ivan, who's not a coach now, but he was my coach. I met with Nate, got me set up, and haven't missed a trading day since, except for holidays, of course. But I love to trade. I'm in California. I get up about 4:50 a.m., 5 a.m. to trade, and it's really changed my life, Nick, because now I get up earlier, I trade, I get things done while I'm trading, and I get so much more done during the day. It's been a life changer for me. I know that's probably a gutsy thing to say, but for me, it personally has. I just love it. I'm going to say love a lot today because it's Valentine's Day.
No, that's perfect. And I can actually, you're getting me pumped right now, man. I can hear it in your voice how excited you are. So it's awesome. You so how did you come across Apiary Fund?
A friend of mine, Joanne, went out to Vegas and met Sean. And she got back and called me and she said, Steve, I know you've tried options, but I met this guy, Sean. You've got to Google him. Let me send you some info. He's got a program I think you're going to love. And I did a couple days of research and I called Joanne back, said, how do I get started? And that was probably right about December 4th, right at the beginning of the first week, because I've always tried things and heard people, I tried this, I tried that, but I lost all my money in 3 months, 6 months, 8 months,
Yeah.
a year. And Nick, when I saw this, I was set for life. Nothing was going to stop me.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, isn't it? So you had been trading before that. How did you actually get started trading?
I just like the idea because I'm in front of my computer. I started working with computers. I'm an old guy now. Back in 77, I built my own computer and I knew there was going to be money to be made with it. I don't know why, because I was a big athlete and my athlete friends were teasing me. What the hell are you doing with that box? That's crazy. Play Pong. That Pong was really big. I don't know. Something's caught my eye. I love it. So when I heard about trading online and be able to sit in front of your computer and do other things, walk away, come back, it was like, what a great way to make money.
Yeah, that's really it. I mean, it really is. You said it. Would you mind sharing us your goals with Apiary Fund? Because I thought that sometimes, as I've been doing this, sometimes people, I just felt like your goals were super in line with what the fund needs to be able to grow and be successful. Obviously, the fund is super successful, but I think that you had a really good mindset. Sometimes I'll talk to people and they just want to hit a home run right off the bat. And I think that somebody planted in their head that that's, was realistic or should be expected. And so I guess the question is what advice could you give somebody that's getting started that can really help them continue down the path that you've been on this last couple of years?
I'm not going to recreate the wheel. I'm going to tell you what Sean told me, because when I met Sean in person, February of 20, right before COVID, was kind of cool timing for me. COVID wasn't there yet. We didn't know anything about it, but I sat with him and he said, Steve, give yourself 3 to 5 years. This is not a home run, like you said, Nick, which a lot of programs out there will tell you that. Hey, invest this amount of money and by the end of the year, you're going to be retired, da, 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 da. We all have heard that. I just know it's an ability of learning every day. And I don't make a lot of money with Apiary. I don't care about that. I care that I learn every day. And it's exciting learning from Sean and Nate and Kevin and Todd, but also learning when I trade myself. The experience in anything we do is going to teach us. And Apiary takes it to the next level. And I want to take that and mentor as many traders as I can and work with them. I want to be an older version of Sean.
That's awesome. Are you gonna grow your beard out?
I have a little tiny beard. It's not red, but if he wants me to and I can trade like him, I'll grow it to my knees if I have to.
Yeah, that's exactly what he wants, just so you know. That he wants you to grow it to your knees. I'll speak for him. So I think we all want that. I think Sean's ready for you, buddy. Before I let you go, what is it that you'd like Sean to focus on with you today during your trading session?
ongoing theme, the runs, especially these last couple of weeks, and not those other runs, but I don't think Sean can help with that.
I don't know. I don't know. Ask him.
The
Definitely
running
ask
of
him.
the markets, just when to get out. And I always have that, I know it's going to turn. I know it's going to turn. And in this last couple of weeks, it hasn't.
Okay. So yeah, if you would just ask him the same way that you just said it there. I'd love to see what he has to say about that.
I will do that.
Steve, really appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for being on today. I hope you have a great trading session with Sean.
Hey, you're a great leader as well. I appreciate everything you do.
And
You're awesome.
really appreciate that, man. Have a great trading session. Happy Valentine's Day, buddy.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Hey, Steve, can you hear me okay?
Clear as a bell, Nick. Nick, I called you Nick Sean.
That's all right. That's like a compliment. I'd be okay being that's right in the middle of the camera. If everybody called me Nick, I'd be like, hey, it's my happy day.
You got a good guy there, Sean. I appreciate him a lot.
Well, Steve, I got to tell you, when your name came up, I was just like to the moon. I was like, oh, this will be a fantastic trading session. I'm so excited to trade with you.
I set 2 alarms to make sure I get up at 4:45 anyways, California time. But I set 2 alarms. I was so excited.
Yeah, I can relate to that. my 2 alarms went off, but just get up. Well, let's jump over to the platform here real quick, and let's see if we can get that running for us, and see if we can get you working on it. All right, are you able to see that okay, Steve?
Perfect.
Okay. And let me give you access here. All right, I think if you click and then you can start moving the mouse, it should, there we go.
Okay. Yep.
Just draw a quick line, make sure, fill that latency. There's going to be a latency on your side that.
It's not so bad. I got a pretty fast computer. Oh yeah, look.
Good, fantastic. Oh, let me change that to 0.1 instead of a 1.
Well, we go for 1. I'm making extra money. I'm just kidding.
that would be the thing. We'd be like sitting there pounding on 1, and it's like full lot trades going through.
But unfortunately, I think we're gonna have a lot of fun today. Not that everybody does. I love to laugh a lot, so we'll have fun.
All right. Make sure everything else is set up right. We're good. All right. Well, let's go ahead. We got a couple minutes here before the top of the hour, so I'm excited to trade with you, Steve. I've got a special guest with me today. And check this guy out.
Oh yeah, the wobblehead.
He keeps an eye on me, makes sure that I don't overtrade. So he'll be right here, watching over our trading session, giving us good vibes. So
oh, that's great. Oh, I love it.
Oh, I love it.
As I told Nick today, Valentine's Day, we'll say love a lot today, I think.
But, oh yeah, for sure. We have to. It's a requirement today. All right. Well, since we got Mr. Bobblehead watching over us, what is there anything we can focus on? Anything you're interested in keeping it learning?
Yeah, the runs. Really the runs, but not the runs on those runs. I know you probably can't fix that. Running market.
That's pretty much what they are, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess I do run to the bathroom when it happens.
That's funny. So yeah, the runs in the market, huh?
Yeah.
Things where it just kind of like marches against you. And, well, we've sure seen a fair share of those recently. So
Yeah. And I'm always thinking, it's overextended, it's going to turn, and it doesn't, and
yeah,
way against my market, and then I try to come back, and it hits 5% or 3%. Not a good thing.
well, we've let's start out, maybe take a look at let's get everything set up. We'll take a look at the top market and down. It's just been a roller coaster last few weeks, so nobody knows for sure what's going on, and it's pretty evident in the price action. So we'll give that a second to load up. And then let's welcome everybody out to the guest trading session this morning. My guest this morning is Steve Ramona. Steve is one of the most fantastic traders you'll ever meet. Just got a great heart, good enthusiasm for trading, and very, very, very well disciplined in his trading. And there's a lot to learn, and it's a the skill is something that's always evolving. And Steve, I just appreciate the good student that you are. You're constantly trying to master and learn and adapt and change. So my compliments to you on that. So
thank you, Sean. I do want to. This community is unbelievable. You've built these messages, these encouragements. I mean, I've never missed a trader on the street since you've had it, and guest trader. And you say it all the time, but I want to say it from this end, the best community I've ever been involved with.
oh yeah. I always say I've worked at a lot of groups, a lot of trading groups throughout my career, and hands down, I line them all up, say, hey, pick your best. And I like this group, the apiary group. The apiary traders are absolutely the best traders on the planet. Not that we're like knocking it out of the park, and not that everybody's like the best trader on the planet. There's probably a lot of traders out there that probably would beat us in terms of returns and everything like that. But in terms of community and who to hang out with, and the passion and the commitment to trading, hands down, I'd work with this group any day.
Appreciate that, and they all do, I'm sure.
All right, well, traders, we're about ready to get this session started. We're going to take a look at the always on a Monday morning. One of the best things you can do on a Monday morning is just start out taking a big picture, and then kind of work yourself down into the smaller details. But what's been really particularly challenging the last few weeks is the outside ranges that we've been seeing on the daily charts on the euro. So we mentioned it so many times where we popped out, gave us a bullish bias, as soon as we popped out of this big consolidation. And then that market ran all the way back down, popped down through the bottom, gave us a bearish bias and bearish angle on the market, and then rallied all the way back up to the top again. And since then, we are now 2 solid days into a reversal on the daily charts here on the euro. So we're right back smack dab in the middle of all that consolidation that we've been trading around for the last 2 months. So to make these moves, Steve and the rest of you, to make these moves out like these, to pop out of the consolidation like we did down here and like we did up here, and then to retrace it, those are enormous amounts of money that is moving that market. Enormous amounts. I mean, that's not anything that a single firm, a single organization can muster. And so what that means is that, and we're seeing it, we're starting to see it the same whipsaw in the markets as well. We're just getting kind of knocked off the rails on both sides. And so it pushes us into what we call a trader's market, where basically, a very active approach to the market in, out, getting in and out quickly, not holding on to runners if they're going against you, not holding on to runners if they're going with you. um, Both of those are pretty good. It's a pretty good way to adjust to a market like this, being quick to get in, quick to get out in terms of your trades. So it's definitely an active traders market right now. So the big question is where does this go from here? I mean, do we bottom out in some of this consolidation area? Do we bottom out down here? Do we break and push lower and test the lows again? Those are all really big questions, really good questions to ask. And unfortunately, we don't have really good answers to.
Not good.
So from here, let's drop down to the hour and let's see if we're starting to get in, slide into some consolidation. So big runs, consolidated reflex, big runs, consolidated reflex, and right now a little bit of consolidation in the hour charts. Is this a good place to find the bottom? That puts us right about here. There's a little bit more, probably a little bit more solid base right down in here, and even more solid base clear down in here. So we're probably not done with the down leg on that hour chart, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So we'll probably give that. Let's see where that puts us on that daily 1276. Can you read, if you can read that? Let's back over here, 1276. Let's take one of these.
Seven, 6.
Does that put us right down on that?
7, 8. Go up a little bit.
7, 8.
Right there.
So
So
yeah.
thank you for help. I love being your assistant. This is great.
So yeah, that puts us kind of right on the bottom of all that chop. A lot of activity around that 1278 number. So I think we'll probably look for that. Is that right? Did we get that right? 127.
6, 8. Oh no, 7, 6.
6, 8. Anyway, regardless, it'll be right in that area. So somewhere in there. So yeah, that's probably a pretty good place to find a consolidation. So I think we'll try and trade primarily on that short side of the market. So we'll fade any kind of rallies that come in, unless it starts to make a full-fledged turn. And let's see where that turn on the hour chart is, probably the top of that candle right in there. So either in there. Yeah, that's probably where we want to. We'll trade primarily the short side up through that, and then we'll make decisions whether to go long as if we ever break that during our session. So that's just kind of the big picture plan. But again, because of the nature of how the markets have been lately, I don't know that it'll, we'll adapt in the session. So is that fair?
Very fair. I like that. It'll help me with runs too down the road.
Yeah.
The right market, if it gets past that, know to look to get out or look where I'm at. So thank you. Appreciate that.
Excellent. All right. Well, then let's drop down to that hour chart and we'll see if we can start to get some trades going.
As I say, get my gun loaded.
Yep, get it loaded, locked and loaded.
Yeah.
This is that big candle right there. Just keep your bearings. That's that move right there. So big rally and then a sell off after that. So to form that big wick on the top of the hour chart. So the top of that is like, that's our turning point. That's where that's a fix it zone. That's a major major point in our trading session. All right. Other than that, I'm going to hand the wheels over to you here in just a minute. This is interesting trading right in here. So sometimes when I'm looking at charts, Steve, I'm really interested in anomalies and how things are forming. And there's a couple of real anomalies on this chart right in here. But this is one of them. You look at how, there's a lot of pressure on those lows in there, a lot of pressure, and then pops up, and then you get a big run, and then you get this big run. So that's something really interesting. And then over in here, if you look at that area, that's also, it's a little bit too uniform for pure market activity or action. Can you see that? It's a little too uniform. We like to look for patterns, but that pattern's a little bit too patterny.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
And what's that tell you? So what's that tell when you see that?
When I see stuff like that, it tells me that there's something that's propping the market up, and I don't want to be fighting that, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So if I'm sitting in short positions and I'm trying to bust it down, and I see these patterns, that step in every, like clockwork, boom, 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 I'm probably fighting an algorithm or a bot, and particularly one with a lot of money in the market. So like right in here, you get this major sell-off. Yeah, it makes sense to get some support, but that's a little bit too uniform of a support level.
Is that spring analogy you used too, that the spring's going to blow?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So with that, let's just we kind of understand that there could be some runs, like some of those marching markets, like in our trading session today. So just want to be careful of that. All right, that kind of leads us to the current session right in here. So looking at a turn, go ahead and throw just one short trade on, and let's see if we can get a target before the bottom. So it's just on the other side of that. That's just a marker trade. We're not expecting to do anything with that. We just want to see where it kind of puts us and really focus our attention on the price action for the moment.
That's a great way to start.
Yeah. We should put on like 10 trades there.
I know, I always say, come on, Shar, what are you thinking? That's the last thing I'd say.
Yeah. All right down into a little bit of choppy support. Let's let that run, and we may take just a counter strike, like a long, just a quick retrace right in there. Add a couple right in there, just a quick. Now this is a scalp move, so we're just going to look for some fast tail activity. Right, another one right there. And on the lows, add a couple more. So just real right in there. 1, 2. And then let's pull those targets all down to about mid candle. Right in there. Oh, go ahead and add a couple more real quick. Right there, perfect. Add a couple more. If we're going to get some support, this is a fantastic place for that support. So really, it's the only trade we have until we get some upward movement. Beautiful targets right in there. Let's look at this candle to make another push lower. on those lows, add a couple.
Oh, shoot.
It's okay. It's fine.
For me, it wouldn't be. For you, it's great.
Oh, just close out that one trade, the minus. We got a little bit of income in there. So that was good. And then on the lows, we'll add another small position. So this is good. Now, what will happen is if we come down, so what we're looking, we've got the run down, 2 to 3 candles on the downside. So now we're gonna like look for it to start to bottom out and give us a consolidation if possible. So as it pops up into those highs, start to put some shorts on. So we'll replace those targets with some shorts and see if we can get a move back down to the bottom. So like add a couple. Yeah, beautiful. Wait for it to get back up into those highs. There's still more to the downside. So we've come down pretty hard into the lows. If you look over on that 5-minute chart, we come down pretty hard into those lows, but we haven't hit the actual lows on that 5-minute chart. So there still should be a little bit of some downward pressure on that.
I love this when it sits and doesn't close.
So frustrating, huh? That spread.
You're yelling at this screen. Come on, dude. Should I pull
So,
these down?
yeah, pull them down underneath the wick tops. You got it. And then as you take those out, put your shorts on. At the top of the body, the previous body high and the top of the current wick, let's start. That's where we want to start selling very slow at first. So maybe 1, 2, and then start to add right in here. Oh, just missed it. It's okay.
Like the volatility.
And see where that puts us on that 5-minute chart. So we'll probably have to nail that on a wick. So we want to try and get that target up above the pivot low on that 5-minute chart. So add one right. Oh, missed it again. Sorry. So right on the highs, just right on the highs.
Body eyes.
Mhm. So that's good. We caught that slide into consolidation. That's really good. Like being able to right there, add a cut 1 or 2 on the highs. There we go. Nice. And then if it does make that turn and pops up, we should hit those targets, and then we'll replace those targets with some shorts.
God, you make it sound so simple. I love it.
It's pretty good to be able to catch that slide into consolidation. That's
It's one thing you can't control is timing.
no, I can't.
Right.
We can't control much of what the market does.
Right. And the worst thing that could happen, again, is you're thinking ahead, if it pops and closes our trades out, we can start closing the top ones and we're fine. Pretty much almost even was what you're thinking.
Yeah, so if it pops up, we'll be closing out of those longs at about break even. Maybe just a little, make good just a little bit on it. If it pops down, then we we should see a little bit of buying pressure to kind of try and stop it on the lows. It may materialize, it could like build momentum at that stage. So we run a little bit of risk at that, in that on a pop to the downside, but definitely a pop to the upside. I mean, it could also build momentum, but it's got to have to make that turn. And all of our targets are before that turn. So
Gotcha. That's why I learned from you watching is plan ahead, plan ahead, plan ahead. It's always in my head.
yeah, on either side, right? You gotta know what are the probabilities of either side happening. And because, you know, as this moves sideways like this, it's just building up pressure. And so we're gonna get a pop for sure. And in fact, let's take a look at those lows real quick. I'm gonna pull a couple of those down, because if we do get that pop to the downside, it could be a little bit bigger than to the upside. And so we might as well make a little bit more money on that pop before that buying pressure comes in. So this is where you expect a wick. You almost expect it, right? You got that push lower. You know the sellers want to make that push lower. And you know the buyers are sitting there, you know, they got one last chance to like reject that move lower. So that's where they'll throw that money in, and that's why you'll get that wick.
Gotcha. Yeah, those 3 previous candles are all dojos. So it doesn't give you any idea.
Yeah, it's putting pressure on that lows, right? So a
There
pop
we
to
go.
the downside is a very real thing right here. Now let's see if we position those right. It's right on the low on the 5-minute chart. So this is where we expect it. We expect it to get. This is our measure.
30 seconds.
Still a little early for that move to the downside. Now we're in the sweet zone, right? We're in that sweet zone.
It's amazing that 20 seconds you mentioned happens all the time.
Yeah.
Like that.
Okay, build a couple shorts. There you go. Build a couple more. So we were just out of range on those shorts, but that's okay. We'll pull those back up, put them in. We'll put them up at the bottom of the bodies, right? Just a little bit. Yeah. Let's leave them actually.
Yeah, because it's listening to you.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
And that's like threading a needle, isn't it?
It is, but it's like, holy mackerel, how it works. On both sides of the game, and that's beautiful. I gotta learn that. I get excited when I trade, so
Oh man.
I know you do too, but
Yeah. It's one of those things that I just love. Like it on the weekends, I'm like, I get that like, oh, what am I gonna do? You know, I gotta have. That's why I have to have the. That's why I have to have the cows up at the ranch. Is like it gives me something to do on the weekends to keep my money.
oh, that's hilarious. I know the feeling.
If it pops back up, it could have a run. So if it pops back up and tries to break that turning point, right
Wait.
there, wait, and then add. Let it run.
Gotcha.
Start now. There, go build pretty strong right there. On the highs, wait for it to pop up, because if this is a true turn, you should get 2 to 3 more candles of follow through. So you want to wait. You want to position those on the high end of that range. So 10 seconds left on that candle. So now we're going to see if it is a turn. So if they push that body all the way back down below, like they're doing right here, it's a wick. It's a false break. Now we've got the telltale. So let's see what this candle does. If it follows suit. And don't add until you get to the top of the previous candle. Just a little bit more. We're gonna now see if this pushes higher. So we're into that sweet zone, that 20-second zone.
Look at the pressure from the sellers. Holy mackerel.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh?
It really is. Once I start learning, it's like, that's a big thing to learn. Everybody out there, once you learn that, it's like, look at that. I mean, it's beautiful.
Okay, if it takes these targets here and pops back up, put some pressure, we'll add our pressure to that selling. So beautiful. Man, Steve, that's as good as it gets right there.
That is like a grand slam in baseball.
That is seriously is. It's like beautiful. You played that like a champ for sure.
Teamwork makes the dream work. There's our wick, which you probably expected that wick to come back, the buyers to come back.
Well, yeah, it'll try, but it's a little overwhelmed at this point. So at this stage, a move to the bottom is more probable than a move back up to the top. So
And this is the line here at the bottom of these candles is your, yeah, I just broke that. So it holds down there, it's turned.
yeah,
That's the other thing to learn is these turning points that you keep putting in. I do now. So huge.
well,
So
yeah, it just helps you it just helps you put everything into perspective, right? So if you trade without that perspective, you're just like, oh, it's turning. And so you get that, oh, it's going, oh, it's not, oh, it's going, oh, no, it's not. But if you've got that line in there, that turning point, you know right where that point, you know where it's happening, and then you can always go and look at the clock, right? You know the place, and then you look at the time, and you're basically trying to make sure that those things are lining up right.
in community, it works because I've been doing it. Works every single time, and it's great. It's kind of like mapping, like doing a map. You're like when you did your bike ride, you did a map. Same thing. Here's my map. Okay, it goes here. Look at that. You called it.
All right, so now the big question is, we've tried to break to the downside once. We've hit the support level twice, and this is our third attempt. So now we see this is a good place if we're gonna get a run in the market. This is a good place to get that run. So sometimes what I'll do here is I'll pull these way out and then manage it manually. So
Gotcha.
we'll see where that puts us over here. I don't think we have enough on that 5-minute chart to really. It may not pop lower, actually. We may want to, that's a pretty solid support level on that 5-minute chart. So we may just want to close out if we can turn those into greens. Let's see.
So when you see that on the 5 and the 1 minute, it's to you, you're thinking, let's go back now, switch the buys because we're bouncing off that. Because I always think about, you say, if it hits the wall enough times, like a cement ball, it's going to break through and keep going lower.
Yeah, so the magic number is 3. So you give it 3 tries, right? So within three tries, a good support level should hold. It should hold through 3 tries. After that 3rd try, if it keeps pounding on it, it'll start to weaken out and then and either make it slow. But if it holds 3 times, then that really should give it a chance to springboard off of it and move and make the reversal. So like that's why I'm saying, like, maybe we want to close out those shorts like at a break even, just because there's a really good chance that if it holds this level like it has for the third time, then there's a really good chance for it to make a leg higher.
Well, I agree. Want to do that? Let's close them out.
Okay, that's fine. And especially because, well, it's a small position, so it's not going to hurt us. But what this does is that, like, we're zeroing in on a 50-50 move, like where we don't have a good bias one direction or the other at this point. And so it's better to wait for that move to form, right? Where let it show us, sit out of the market, let it show us whether it's going up or down, and then we'll reposition back into it.
I like that. And the losses are like you said, man, I love that you take losses, because, we all think he's the expert. Hey, if he's taking losses, we better be taking losses.
Far better to get those off at a minus 40 cents than a minus $40. So
Yeah, and I've done that. And I think we all in this community have done that. It's coming. No, oh shoot, it's 20 pips down now. Darn it. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
and you can start to feel, Steve, I hope you can start to feel it's getting a little wobbly. It's getting not wobbly, a little off the rails now. So you're starting to see bigger money step in and push and try and push higher, try and push lower. So we're starting to see now the first signs of like the pre-trade activity before a break either to the upside or to the downside. So watch how it gets, it's a little off the rails in terms of moving bigger range bars a little bit, bullish pushes are rejected with bearish pushes are rejected with bullish. And so that you look for that wonky trading just before the breaks happen, whatever direction, I don't know at this point.
And that's what we're going to shoot for the break.
Trying right here. So it's sitting on it, trying to gather up right now, trying to gather up friends to sell.
I love it.
Sitting on it. Someone else can come in right now and push a big order on. That would give it a little bit of momentum, and that would start that avalanche happening. But they're not doing it yet. Wait for it. You still see now the bulls are starting to like counter move.
And we see the candle flick like that.
Yeah, that flicker. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Move just ever so slightly with that body close, and ever so slightly advantage to the sellers now. And so they pushed and held through the close of a bar. So that gave the sellers just a little bit of an advantage. Now the buyers are countering, and if the sellers can dump this one, then they'll have it. If they can't, then the buyers have their edge now. 20 seconds. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sellers push that down. So now that gave them it just gave them another added points to the probability on the sell side.
When would you like to get in? What's your thoughts on that?
Wait for the break. So either the buyers either step in and totally like reject the move lower, in which case we'll let it run and then build into some shorts, or the sellers start to take over and momentum builds to the downside, and then we'll look for that first retracement trade. So we're just going to sit on the sidelines for a minute here.
I keep talking because I know it's hard for you.
It's hard for me to sit on the sidelines.
It's taken so much to learn that. That's a good lesson to learn. I know you say it all the time with the patients, especially on runs like this. You're like, oh, I'm gonna jump into cells. Oh, it's gonna, and it could come up to these wicks and go, oh my god, it's, get up here is better than down here because if it comes up here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yep, you got it. So let it, you can start, if it gets up into the highs of the current candle, you can start to sell very, very slowly. Because this could be phase one of the reversal. So very slowly on the highs. See if it can push us down enough. Targets are in a beautiful spot though, so
And that's where patience leads. See, if we're patient, we might get a quick 4 pips, but
yeah,
book, as you say, book profits, $5 or $50, whatever it is.
yeah, you
Okay.
always want to put money in the account. Always, always, always.
I want to do a trade, not taking money out of my pocket and put it in the bank. I want to do a trade. A lot of pressure.
Joe, same thing. If it pops back up to the highs, build those trades back on.
I use this phrase my fellow trading partner uses: rinse and repeat. Rinse and
Rinse,
repeat.
yeah, rinse and repeat.
Thank you, Lynn. He's on here, I'm sure.
Now, this is a good setup for the break to the downside. So you've got that trampoline move where you got the move higher and then you come down pretty hard into those lows. So just watch for that trampoline to build a little bit of strength to the downside if it's going to happen. We're just in a very uncertain point right now. We're almost, if you think about it, we're right in the same position we're at on the daily charts. This is the exact same pattern. We're stuck right in the middle of that consolidation with a couple attempts to move higher and a couple attempts to move lower.
And you would say this is great on wobbling up, obviously, because we're making profit. Great wobbling opportunity here.
Yeah.
Wicks on the 5-minute help, like here.
Mhm.
And that tells you that a lot of buying pressure, keeping propping it up, correct?
Yes. There's definitely some interest in holding these levels, not breaking lower. But remember, from our analysis on that hour chart, there's a really good chance we break lower, right? So that's where if anything, I'm like hanging on to that short bias from that hour chart. Good, very good.
Pops up more.
Yeah,
And this is what you can't get frustrated. Even if it's only 2 positions, it's booking profits. I had to get used to that. Like, I want to put 50 in here. No. Right? Take your 2 and run to the bank.
The minute you put 50 in, it runs off. It'll run all the way up to the top again.
Here's start form.
That is Murphy's law, right? Murphy.
We call it Sean's law. Let's take Murphy.
Yeah, I'm happy with those little 2 pips.
Yeah, because you do it 50 times, that's 100 pips.
Yeah, no one else is making money right now, right? We might as well be. All right. We're still feeling that pressure. This is if we go back to that, let me run the mouse real quick here. Go back to here.
Okay.
We're feeling that same, we're feeling that same pressure here on with the trading right now. So
Expect the same thing to happen. We just don't know. Again, you just don't know.
I would say, if anything, I'm expecting, instead of it to break up, I'm expecting it to break down because we've retraced 100% of that. So there'll be a little bit more pressure to the downside this time.
Thomas actually pointed that out in the chat. So thank you, Thomas.
Get ready to see if we can put those shorts on again.
And not a great opportunity to go back and forth with buys and short, the longs and shorts, because our pressure is is bearish and you're sticking with the bearish. Good.
Yeah, I don't, this late of a stage of the consolidation, I don't want to do the counter move. Notice we did it earlier and that was fine. Early stage, as we move into that consolidation, early stage is okay. Later stage, you want to be on the side of the bias, whatever bias you have.
And that's two good tips. Later in the consolidation, stay with the trend, and then hits 3 times, it's going to bounce, which you did. Wow.
Still feeling that those buyers, that's money, protection money. Protection money. The mafia's in
Like the
there.
Godfather, yeah, mafia, yeah. Mafia trading, new name.
It's protection money.
Or the I forget what they call them. Enforcers.
That's right.
Sean's enforcers. Let's enforce it.
Wait for it to get up on those top, go a little heavier this time, but not maybe get into 4 until we like know whether, because it could break anytime to the upside, and there's still pressure on the down, but if it breaks to that upside, it could be a pretty good run.
He's past here. The top of these other wicks, the very top of the top wicks.
Let it run a little bit more. I'm just aching to get in. I'd be like,
I have to take the mouse away from the sell button because
I gotta
yeah.
put my hands in the camera.
Where's Nick? Nick, hold his hands back, Nick. Come here.
Yeah, hold me back, Nick. Hold me back.
Oh, I'd love to be a fly in your guys' office. You must have some.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. You know that like when you're in a big move is building up, and it breaks, and then you'll hear throughout the office everybody will be like, oh yes, or oh man. You just get like systematic, throughout the whole office, everybody's responding to the big moves. It's fun.
That's great. That would be a great ringtone.
Yeah.
Apiary ringtone. True consolidation now. Big one.
A lot of pressure on this line. We haven't had anything. I mean, we haven't had a move yet, Steve. I mean, we've just been stuck in that consolidation the entire session. Well, we got the leg down, but
Maybe this little leg up that we jumped on, but I mean, I love this compared to my runs in the market. Excuse me. This is I can handle it. I mean, I thank you for the kind words. So I'm a really great. I'm a great trader, I know, but the runs of the running markets is what's killed me. Learn to close those, or like you said last week, close those early. Use 3 or 4 days of what you can make. Get out. I'm not doing that now. I'm worried. I just gotta.
yeah, and it's hard because good traders always have that residual hope, we're just like, it's gonna do it, and then it doesn't, and then we're like, it'll still work. So we're eternal optimists.
You just wrote an image of me. Perfect. Oh, it's up here, but it's a bearish bias. Oh, it's up here. It's a bearish bias. It's up here. It's a bear. Oh, it's not a bearish bias, and I'm 800 pips behind. Uh-oh.
All right, are we getting that break to the downside here?
This week right here.
This is a great spot for it. We're just kind of slowly coming down into that support. Candle closed on the lows again. Ooh, see that flickering? Flicker precedes the move. So let's see if the move is owned by the buyers or the sellers. You can feel that, you can see that flicker, right?
It's like a little tiny aftershock after, or a before shock before an earthquake.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Right at the 22nd mark, like you always say, look at that.
There it goes. Okay, by the outside edge of this, so the bottom side of it, pick up some longs.
Okay.
Just on the lows. And let's see if we can get that retracement back to the breaking point.
There.
Right there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Stack them up hard right there. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going on the lows.
Okay.
And then I'm going to run the mouse real quick. If you
Gotcha.
want, I'm going to pull these down because we don't want to, we're making our money on that stack. So we want to break even on these. Not a huge chance of getting down, of getting back up to those highs until we get the retrace. And we don't know where that retrace is going to form. So let's pull these down to about break even.
Let's bounce it up. You can.
Should be pretty good right there.
And you're expecting that wick, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah, I'm expecting the test. So we got the break. Now we're expecting the test. So if it comes, now this could be the run. You know, you never know, but we're not too heavy in the trade and a very, very reasonable target.
This is a beautiful trade.
Beautiful.
This is.
And then if it gets up into the highs, then start slowly replacing with some shorts. So right in, start here. Slowly, very slowly, add a couple. You got a little bit of a gap, you see that? So the little bit of the gap between those two previous bear candles. Okay, so that's not a retracement. All we're in is a consolidation now, so no retracement yet. So it's on the bottom, add a couple of longs, just real light. Keep it under 1.5 here. Because this is where we can start to get out of balance if it starts to make that next leg and another run lower.
Bring these guys down. I would
You bet, you got it. Yep, that is exactly right.
Yeah, I learned from you. Okay, look at that. I'm learning.
Yep, perfect.
Grab these.
Yeah, if I need to help, it's that latency. It's a little hard to adjust those. I can do it real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Take over, Red Rover.
Maybe I can't.
Good, it wasn't me.
Yeah, maybe it might be hidden underneath one of the trigger or the buy orders.
This is, look at that trade. Sean, you are brilliant.
Well, we'll see.
I'm only down to 5. See, to me, I'm like, that's a victory down from, I don't know, 30 or 4, whatever I had, to 5. You know, even if it goes against us, only 5 instead of 50. You know what? Maybe I'm thinking right. We booked a bunch of profits, so I've got a little loss here, but it's going up to help us. But yeah, that's what I was going to do too.
Got it. Okay, so now if it gets back up, now let's start to build those shorts. So now we've made the turn, and so start to build those into those shorts right in here.
Get up.
Start out slow. It gets up onto the high of the previous 3 candles, just put some more shorts on.
Come on. Now this is where I'm like, you come up. Let's-
And now we want it to go up. Yeah, that was a good trade, Steve. Beautiful.
Picture perfect.
Big wick on that 5-minute chart, if you can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go slow again.
Yeah, slow, because we on the first retracement, we give it all the way back up to the breaking point. So, and because of that wick on that 5-minute chart, it could actually build strength from here. So this could be like a false break to the downside. So wait for it to run a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Now add a couple of shorts. Build half, at least half your position. Keep going.
15.
Yeah, 1.5. One more. There you go. Now, let's adjust all of those bottom targets up above the turning point.
There.
A little bit higher than that. Right in there. The structure of this is a little bit scary because it came in pretty hard. It's forming a pretty hard formation on that 5-minute chart. And this is the nature. This is a unique pattern that's only been like showing up in the last 2 weeks, where you get breakdowns that should follow through, and they're just retracing all the way back up. So, so that's a unique. That's not, most of the year I would not expect that type of behavior, but I definitely have started seeing it more and more frequently in the last 2 weeks. I think if there's anything, that's what makes trading hard, is that you get these periods where a pattern works, and then a period where it doesn't, and then a period where it does again, and then it doesn't. So and a trader has to constantly be adjusting how they respond to things during those times. So
Right. Yeah, I've noticed the last couple of weeks I've reversed sides, and it went against me. Sell, and then okay, it's run, buy, and then it goes back to sell. That's I've
Yeah.
seen it personally, and it frustrates me. But I can't just. It is what it is. You always say, hey, like you said a couple of weeks ago when you had that big loss. If you can take losses, again, we need to let people do the same.
yeah, that was such an anomaly move. I didn't dare switch sides in the middle of it, and then I ended up taking that loss. And then it went and did what I was expecting it to do.
It's like everybody here could say the same thing. It's like, oh man, look at it. Like a 3% loss, I could have made 0.5%.
Yeah.
So it gets to the tops here. We add again tops of this consolidation.
Yeah, so this could be setting up a measured move. So we'll definitely add on the top, but add slowly. Add 2 right here. That's good. So one more candle of sideways consolidation, and then if we break to the top, we've got a measured move. So let me just draw that out real quick for you. So you've got 1, 2, 3. So if you got one more move in here and then you break, then we should see a run, another run, bullish run of that size. And notice we're still in good shape. Like we're not overextended. We can easily manage through, that measured move, not a problem. If you wanted to lighten up a little bit, this would probably be a good place to like peel off some of those lost trades. But let's just see if it,
Yeah,
we'll let it run, and
this candle might be, no.
I may take off a couple here. And actually I might set up for that. We gotta spike this a little bit. It's actually showing pretty good signs of strength right now. This is a high, out of everything we've done, this is the least, this is the highest risk trade we've placed today. So
And that probably happens in a trading session almost every time, right?
what's that?
Where you do high risk.
Usually it's a high risk trade, but sometimes you just get a sense that it's going to work out. So
Yeah, like that.
that worked out good. Now the great thing about that is it just kind of took the sting out of the break, and now we can get back to building into our short positions. Just let it run just a little bit more. Now start to, oh. Those are the lightning fast reflex trades that I'm like, I would have already been pounded on that thing.
Yeah. I'll learn. Okay,
Now.
I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy or?
Not yet, not full heavy yet, just a good solid position. See if you can book some profit on it. For an outside range, to be where we're at on an outside range is pretty good. So we're,
Well, I like what you did is grab those buy profits, bullish profits to take out some of the, it's a great way of reducing your load if it's going to run on you. So you just taught me something. Very appreciate that.
yeah, it's just a quick hedge at the right spot. And if it does work out, if it does work out, it takes that sting out like it did here. But if it doesn't work out, you're still hedged on the way back down. And so you can close them out pretty quickly and still get back into your longs. On the high of this candle, close or sell some more. But really we're trying to get back up to the high of that line that I drew. And so watch out for a little bit of momentum here. Sell. 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 Wait for it. This could run higher here.
We also have the bias in our favor too. Is that in the
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly why we're selling. So nothing.
That's a good candle.
It's good targets on that. Like those targets are beautiful targets. So you may not hit them, but I'd be really happy. I'm really happy with where those targets are.
Joseph, you're right. Yeah, we've had 10 straight candles, but they're getting smaller and the momentum slowing down. Am I seeing that correctly with this run?
Well, we're not quite done. We're probably not done with the run yet. So if we can get a pullback here, that would just do us wonders.
Look at that.
Right there. And then we need to, like, if we do get down to the bottom, peel some of those losses off. You got it.
We're at 686. We'll probably be around 700. So
Go ahead and
get
kill
down to
one off.
650.
Kill one off.
Back to 650 here, or 680 maybe.
We'll keep it right around 680. Yeah. So
That was a big learning lesson when you showed that. That was like huge.
perfect. Right there. Close one. Beautiful. Close them out. Another one. And then we'll let it run back up. So we're in great shape. We're managing that pretty well. Pops back up into those highs. Let it run one more, let it run one more time to the highs. Add 1, 2, or 3 maybe on the highs, like right in there, right on those highs. But this one, we actually want it to make another pop to the high side to let out the last of the steam of the measured move.
And because we booked
Yeah.
profit, we're in great shape.
Huh?
We booked profits here in this downturn a little bit. We're in good shape.
Yeah, we're in great shape. The move against us is not really hurting us that much right now. So, I mean, obviously it'd be better if we were making money, but it's not, we've adjusted our risk now. So we're not in a bad position at all. All right, come on, move one more run higher. Now we want to get a good position on so we can make our money for the session. We haven't had a good trade set up really. Watch for it to break here. If it breaks, try and push into the highs of the candle on the break. So let it run. Trying to break, but isn't making it. Oh man. Sell a couple.
This is a
Sell a
teaser.
couple. Yeah, sell a couple on the highs, like right in there. Slowly. Oh, sell a good chunk right here. This might be the break to the upside. Wait for it. Sell a couple. Wait for it to break. No, didn't break.
This is okay.
Not yet. We're fine either way, but we need a good solid position to make our money on the session, and we're not getting a really good setup yet.
Little bits, little pieces.
With bits and pieces, yeah.
Jeez. This is trading.
This is a tricky one because I mean this is the position we're in on the daily chart, right? You got a false break to the downside, false break to the upside, only it's reversed. We had a false break to the upside and then to the downside on the
Right. Should we reduce our position a little bit or want to hold it?
It's okay. Right in here. See where it puts a target. Sell. Yeah, so anything above that level, go ahead and start to build a couple more. 1, 2. Right there. 1, 2. One, two.
What's your thoughts there adding two, just because you see momentum going our way?
Yeah, I'm just trying to catch a momentum burst. So like that, that's the momentum burst.
But you expect this to jump back up.
I do at this point right now. So don't just let it run back to the top and then build all those positions back on. You can close out that 6 slot or that 6 minus 6 on there. Here, let me rearrange those.
Gotcha.
Now pop back up and we're going to start to build strong short position. Anything onto the upside. Wait for it. Now.
Couple just light again.
Yeah, just hits a high, put a sell, hits a high, put a sell, all the way back up to the top of that consolidation.
Gotcha. So I could go crazy. I could pull a Sean, as they say.
You could.
Kind of powerful to have all these trades.
That's the Ferrari, the Ferrari account. A little horsepower.
I don't want to get pulled over and get a ticket.
Ron's not in the office right now.
Oh, good.
Oh, now I want to kind of put some more shorts on.
They took it's up to this wick, maybe.
Yeah, it gets up to the top of that wick. Definitely add some.
Yeah.
But if anything, that's a good place for it to make another leg to the high side too. So it's kind of a tricky spot, especially with that outside range. So
This is again pressure release from the pot, that steam pot,
yeah.
and then pop back up. Gotcha. Sellers made all their money, they're out. You're thinking the buyers are going to push it. Okay.
If it's going to happen, this is where it happens. So it's like I've learned I've got the itch to put the trade on, but I've learned to be really patient in a spot like this, because you've got that outside range. You've definitely got, if you think about it, the bulls have like rejected the downward break, pushed it all the way back up, have pulled back to test, and now that's where you get that, you can get that turn and then the ramp up. So it's like it's also a place where it breaks down like it is right here. So it's like I'm itching on both sides, because it's like who knows.
It's all good lessons.
And this one's turned out exactly the way my gut was telling me, but I couldn't let my gut be the decision maker there.
Well, you said some time ago, the trade you don't make is sometimes the best trade in case it goes against you.
Yeah, close out of one of those losses again. Close out of this, just close them both out. We are sitting right on the support line from earlier. Yeah.
Can I get a little crazy and do this?
Yeah, you can do that. So what it does here will dictate whether we shift into a very short-term long position or we get back on the bear side. Should see a bounce here if the longs are really truly going to take it. You look on that 5-minute chart, it forms another wick on that 5-minute chart and holds the body above the support, and that's just a great setup for longs. Whether they do something with it or not, who knows, but that's a good setup for longs.
Yeah.
So far, they're kind of weak.
Almost a 50-50 buy or sell in your own mind. Okay, I'm right.
I have no edge right here, no edge.
And that's where it's to pull off, take your finger off the trigger and just let it form.
Yeah, I mean, the edge is with the hour chart, that's it. So that hour chart said we should be down at that 1.278 something, or 2876 or something like that.
Which is way below where we're at.
5 seconds left on that candle. 2, 1, 0. Sellers have got, now the sellers have the edge. So if it rallies up from here, build into the shorts. Start just 1, 2 here, 1, 2. If it rallies up, build more.
Okay.
1, 2. 1, 2.
You're trying to be above these candles here on the far left.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's where I
Awesome.
expect that support to come in. The first semblance of support. Do 1. Man, Steve, if we pulling out a session like this, I mean, look at it. All we've had is consolidation and outside range. It doesn't
Cool.
get any harder. It doesn't get any harder to trade than this, honestly.
So this is a perfect session, to be honest. I've heard so much.
We're starting to see those tells on the bottom side. That puts us back up on that white line. Add a couple right here. If we can get targets above the low of this candle, we want to get in, stack in pretty good right here. On the white line, stack in pretty good solid trade on the white line right there. Perfect. Build, 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 build. Good. Stop. And then I'm going to pull those targets up to the bottom of the pivot.
I was thinking the same thing. That was just to let the air out. Bullish run, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's why you stack, because you're looking at a leaf pressure.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
we get down to those lows, we've done it. Our session is good. Oh, come on. Don't do this.
You got strong momentum
Don't do it. Don't do it. Market. 6 seconds left on that 5-minute chart. So this will be the second body close down below the support. So that again, we're just building onto that bearish. We're building onto that bearish edge. Not on this time. So because of the outside ranges, we don't want to build in right there on that on a second attempt. That second time it's really dangerous because it's pushed through it once and then it comes back a second time. That on that second run it is where it could break. So
that's good. All right. Never ask the market to do what you want. It never works that way.
Not always.
But that's a fun part of it too, Sean.
It makes it puzzle. Yeah, I love it.
And I love math, so it's this math thing is great.
A wick on the top right there is a good thing. A body high, not so good, but a wick is really good. 22 seconds,
Yeah,
20 seconds.
Can I say high probability it's going to come down?
Yeah, just the nature of like the unpredictableness takes that edge away, but more in a normal market, yeah, definitely.
How long do you think this is going to last, this craziness?
Oh, until there's some finality between, with the interest rates and stuff. So I think we'll keep fighting until that happens. There we go, Steve.
There we go.
Dude, bada bing, bada bang. We're good.
Sean, I didn't want to be the guest trader to make any money. I woke up this morning praying, come on.
Well, our target was 51,390, so we're at 51,398. So we hit our target for the second. Yes. I mean, honestly, to trade, to be able to walk away with a consolidation, an outside range, and to be able to walk away with profit, dude, you stack up 100 traders on Wall Street and 60 of them will be on the loss side of this. So
wow,
it's a pretty impressive thing to like walk away from a pattern like that with profit in the bank. So
we're a hell of a team.
All right, well, that earns us a paycheck today. So while I get this filled out, Steve, you want to share something with the group? Anything you can kind of share with them?
Yeah, the first thing, you said it pops three times on those support or resistance. I'm sure either way, prepare it to go the other way, because the third time, that was good news, good lesson to learn. The other thing you did was on that pop up on the buys, you put a big number of buys in, it hit it, and then it came down. You were just doing a quick scalp, and it hedged us from a run. We did have a mini run here, like Joseph had said, 10 candles.
Uh-huh.
And that's powerful because that'll help me get away from the runs and hitting my, my goal losses. So there's one more thing that you said, but I'll remember later. But oh, it's great lessons today. Hey, everybody out there, I hope you learned a lot because my skill level just increased today. And I'm going to get paid to learn.
That's
Praise
right.
the Lord.
Let's see if we can get that on the camera.
Wow.
$1,398.74. That's the profit with your session and my session last night.
Sean, thank you so much for taking the time and for the check. I
Happy
mentioned the person, and I'll tell a quick story. At lunch, I don't know if you remember, we sat down and you say, hey, why don't you trade with me for 15 minutes? And I made a $50 or something, and you made 1,000, and I went, when I walked away from I was gonna trade into my 100. If I hit 100, I'll be trading. That's my goal. And I want to mentor as many people like you're doing and help them because I want to be a mini you. I mean that with all heart and not needed to me, but what I learned, I want to share with other people because I think you have the greatest thing in the world here.
I think it's, look, it's not an easy process. We've established that a long time ago. Learning to trade is a skill, and just like any skill, you got to go through the time and the energy and the effort to learn it. And it's harder than most skills because it's not one of those where if you do X, you're going to get Y. It's like if you do X, there's a good chance you're going to get Y. And so that makes it so difficult. But honestly, Steve, I just cannot fathom another venture where you have as much control over your destiny and where you have the potential that you have in the market. I mean, it's just like the majority of the world's wealth is created in the market, just plain and simple. It's just the way it is. And so you might as well learn it. I mean, it's going to be, it can be, and it will be the thing that provides you more stability. But it's hard. And I think, what we're doing here, where we've got the community, we've got the group that all works together, we're all in the same boat. I love what we're doing here. I love it.
I do, and it's a shame. And my goal too is those people that have done trading and have quit because they lost everything. I want to find them and bring them here. This is their savior. It really is. People look at me and go, are you crazy? He does that? I said, yeah, I've been doing it for 2 years. Really? I mean, and I appreciate you so much, Sean. And I'm saying 100 times, but I can say it in person here. You're so appreciated, not by me, but all this community. I talk to others, and thank you so much.
Oh, well, I'm happy to do it. If I can help in any way, shape, or form, it's a good thing for all of us. So, well, Steve, what a great trading session. I was looking forward to it for all week. So thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me today. And
thank you. And I'm glad both our alarms worked.
Yeah.
That's the best thing. Have a great awesome rest of the day. To the coaches, I said hello and thank you for all they do as well. Nate, Todd, and Ron, everybody. So
I'll pass it all on. They're very grateful for you. So
thank you, community, for being on. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, and the rest of you out there. Another great session. Steve's got some great insight and honestly, a tricky trading session today, but we pulled it out and did all right in the end. So congrats again, Steve.
All right. See you, Sean.
See you.
I almost called you Nick again.
It's okay.
All right. See you later.
Bye.